Hello Internet, and welcome to my new Let's Play of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country. That is a mouthful, and the title is going to look like even more of a mouthful to the point where the notification, if you have notifications on for the channel, probably won't even get far enough to say Episode 1. This is an expansion to one of my favorite games of all time, as well as a standalone game. I am playing the standalone version, which means a lot of options that were exclusive to the expansion pass version are not here. Yeah, they didn't have the foresight to add expansion pass related content to the standalone version of the game, unfortunately. This is not as far as I'd say in my top 10 favorite games like the original is. I mean, the original is my favorite game of all time. But there are so many things to love about this as an expansion and as a game on its own. I do want to say before we get started, there will be spoilers for the main game in this game just as a result of this being a prequel. I can't really do anything about that. That's just the way it is. I will also be keeping everything here at its default setting, so auto battle will be disabled, automated button challenges will be disabled, enemy aggression will be enabled, which means enemies that are too high leveled or boss and quest enemies and, you know, all that stuff will automatically lock onto you. All that stuff. This is just going to be a very standard playthrough of Torna the Golden Country. However, there's going to be some things about this Let's Play that I'll have to talk about as we go through just because of the nature of this game, because Torna has a lot of questionable design decisions that will be important to go over if I'm going to make this Let's Play as decent as I can make it. I do also want to address that yes, Chugga Conroy is Let's Playing this game at the same time as me. Planning for this Let's Play started before Chugga Conroy's Let's Play started and was even announced, and I was Let's Playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 before Chugga Conroy announced Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Let's Play, whatever. Just to get that out there, no comments about Chugga Conroy in my comment section, please. Okay, we're gonna start the video game. We're gonna be playing on normal mode. Okay.
The year was 3564. The 107th Indoline Praetor, Rhodalis, had sent an armed expedition against the country of Sia. Its capital, Amranta, fell overnight and sank beneath the clouds, along with the rest of the Titan. The destruction of Sia shocked all the nations of Alrest. Officially, the act was attributed to a military alliance led chiefly by Indol and the emerging power of Mor Ardain. In fact, it had been the work of one blade, the Aegis, a man known as Melos. Said to be the architect's word incarnate. Back then, neither Laura nor myself knew how closely his fate would prove to be tied with ours in the days to come.
You're that eager to die? Then allow me to assist!
There's no end to them.
And it's not just the Wolf and Ferris. Even the Balufo is caught up in it.
Laura, can you smell it?
It stinks like...
Yeah, no doubt about it. Blood. It's driving them crazy.
We're only 3 minutes into the game and we're already starting with combat. This is a new record for this series. With every auto attack hit, your art gauges will fill up slightly. This is called Art's Recharge. With the gauge full, press the corresponding button to use the art. The combat in Torna is similar, but not the same as Xenoblade Chronicles 2. As you can see, stutter stepping is still a thing, so if you move every few frames after you use an attack, you'll be able to charge up your arts very quickly. If you use an art at the precise moment an auto attack connects, you can cancel into the art without winding down from the attack. This is called action canceling. You can cancel arts into specials too, and by unlocking certain nodes on affinity charts, it becomes possible to cancel arts into other arts. A successful cancel will charge the special gauge more than usual, so it's worth learning this tricky technique if you want to maximize efficiency. These tutorials... A team is composed of a driver and their blades. The level, EXP, HP, strength, ether, agility, dexterity, and luck stats are common to all members of a team. The tutorials are not great, but these battle tutorials are actually pretty decent, and one thing you may be hearing in the background is just how good the music is. Torna introduced, I believe, 9 new songs to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The rest are songs that are already in the base game. But the ones that were introduced are all extremely good, and I'm excited to let you hear some of them. We don't have all the tutorials done yet, though. In a battle, a team is split between Vanguard and Rearguard's positions. The character in the Vanguard is the attacker, while the Rearguard plays support. You, as the player, directly control the Vanguard. The Rearguard will attack and provide buffs automatically. Auto attacks are the main way of attacking in the Xenoblade series, so if you stand still, you will just automatically attack an enemy doing small amounts of damage with every hit. You'll also see that red bar up there. That is recoverable HP. To recover this HP, well, I guess not yet, but I'll show you how to recover that HP because we're kind of being ganged up on as Laura here. You can switch to your blade, who will be in the rear guard by default. Once the rear guard gauge fills up in battle, you can press up or down to perform a maneuver called the Vanguard switch. When you trigger a Vanguard switch, the rear guard will move up to trade places with the Vanguard while switching with their switch art. After the switch, the new Vanguard's art gauges will be full, ready to be used immediately, so using a Vanguard switch is a good way to press an attack. You can see under the art icon for Chill Stroke there that it does more damage when used from behind. Unfortunately, we can't really take advantage of this at the moment because we only have one team in our party. But this is going to be incredibly important later on. And you also see that we are at level 2 now as Jin, which is great. Jin is also going to be one of our best characters throughout the entire game, and we're already kind of seeing that. He's doing a ton more damage even with his auto attack. A special is a move that uses cooperation between the team members to great effect. Using arts will in turn charge the special gauge. This is called Special Recharge. When this gauge is full, you can press A to use a special. Should be full as soon as we're done with this use of Chill Stroke. When we press A, you will usually get a button prompt, and these are sometimes actually extremely difficult to get perfect. That one was just a mash B, but I've had multiple occasions where it's genuinely impossible to react fast enough to get that to do anything other than just a standard hit. We saw there that it got excellent, and that's just because I was expecting the button prompt this time. This battle might seem a little boring at the moment just because we only have a single art, but trust me, battles in Torna are going to get incredibly interesting and just fun to play and watch, just because this game has such a cool battle system. You can charge the specials gauge up beyond level 1 all the way to 4. Whereas level 1 has the Vanguard attack alone, levels 2, 3, and 4 are a real team effort. But first, here's a free special gauge top up, so you can try using a level 4 special and admire Laura and Jin's flawless coordination. Let's do it. When using a special, a button challenge will pop up on screen. I've already talked about that.
I need your help here, Jin.
Good. I'm with you.
Midnight Sun!
Laura!
Thank you, Jin.
Well, we've got room for improvement.
Of what?
This fighting style. It magnifies our strength, sure, but it leaves us wide open. When the sword is in my hand, you're left defenseless.
What, you won't keep me safe?
Huh?
I'll keep you safe always.
I'll keep you safe, always. You still remember that?
I've thought about it. Every day for these 17 years. I'll never forget it. The day you set me free from a life of misery.
I see.
The feature that the arrow is pointing to right now is the compass. The markers on it show you where Laura and her friend should go next. The number above each marker gives the distance to that objective. Also, if the objective is located above or below you, you'll see an arrow pointing up or down. Now the arrow is pointing to the environmental info. This gives you the name of your current area as well as the weather and the time. The mini-map gives you an idea of what's around you. Pressing the L stick lets you change its zoom and size, and the mark in the center shows your position and facing. Lastly, your current objective window. This explains what Laura and co. should be doing right now. Now, a piece of important advice. Did you know that notification that said new tips have been added? In this game, you can check previous tutorials from the menu. This notification just now was to tell you that the new options should have been added to the menu. If you run into something that you're unsure of while playing, go to main menu, system, tips to see if it's been explained there. You can review tutorials in this game. This is something that was just entirely gone from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, like the base game. I don't know why. You can see things that the game hasn't even explained yet, like incapacitation. If a party member is knocked out, you can help them back up with A if you have enough party gauge. We only have one team right now, so this is actually kind of spoiler-ish. I mean, we know there's going to be more teams, right? Because this says plural. But, yeah. Why wasn't this in the base game? This was in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I don't know why they didn't think to include it in the sequel. But they did think to include it in the sequel to the sequel, or the prequel to the sequel. So, and that's helpful. If we check our characters now, we can see Laura. Laura, or Team Laura, has kind of a focus on agility, strength, and ether, mostly. Though we can't really see that right now, since dexterity and agility are the highest stats. We'll be going over what these stats mean later when we have more teams to go over, because right now we only have a team that's really focused on doing damage. However, Team Laura is also going to be focused on something incredibly important to the overall, coordination of every team. Lazaria Woodland, where you are right now, is a special kind of area known as a landmark. Alrest features 3 kinds of areas: locations, landmarks, and secret areas. You can instantly travel to any previously discovered landmark or secret area from the skip travel menu found in the menu. That's true, and that's something I already knew. Now, we have a lot of enemies here in the Lazaria Woodland, and it's just kind of a very linear, straight line of an area. So I'm gonna fight these enemies and let you listen to this battle theme, because it's so good. That Jin actually acquired a new a new art when we reached that next level, as did Laura, because they learn their arts and their rearguard arts at the same rate. What I just did was I pressed the down arrow on the Joy-Con to taunt an enemy into coming over here. I lured it over by throwing a rock at it, more like it, but this is something that I don't really see a lot of purpose to doing in Torna overall, but I mean, it can be helpful. It was honestly just a misclick that time. Laura's Hungry Snake art both inflicts break and spawns an HP potion. HP potions are items that you use from the menu in these games, or in this game, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. They're actually just things that spawn on the battlefield that restore an amount of HP once you grab them. I'm going to switch to Jin now because he's taking a lot of damage as Laura. Jin has an art called Snow Blast that does more attack from the side. That's what he just unlocked. Chill Stroke does back attack up, as I've already said, which does more from the back. As you can see, Jin is going to be pretty much just completely focused on doing as much damage as he can from different directions, which means he's going to have to not be aggroed a lot of time, which is... I mean, we'll see, but he's not going to be aggroed a lot of time later on in the game, but for now we just can't use the extra effects of his arts very well. I'm not going to bother really fighting the rest of the enemies in here. You can run away from battles just fine. Enemies can, like, chase after you, but they have a certain range and eventually they just give up. And enemies can't jump, so... yeah, they're all trapped back there. I thought he was going to clip up for a second. That was kind of, like, terrifying. But he didn't. Ralsh Wolf. Enemies have funny, like, variation or various names. I don't know what the word would be there that I'm looking for. If we head up here, the cutscene interrupts us getting the item. Of course it does.
What happened? Are you alone?
Looks like the only survivor. These burn patterns don't look like Malice's handiwork. Must have been humans. Looting and pillaging while the world burns.
Hey, it's okay. Would you like to come with us? You don't have to worry, really. We're all good people. Promise.
Can you walk? You can. Good going.
And your family? Were they there with you? Should we go back and...
Mikhail.
Hmm?
My name is Mikhail.
Oh, right. I'm Laura. And he's...
I don't have a family. I was sold to this village from Estem. So I'm all alone.
I see. Right then. Starting today, we're going to be your new family. We'll take you back to our friends and...
You people? You're strangers. You don't have to pretend to care.
You don't beat around the bush, do you? He's gonna be a handful, this one. Though really, I was just the same once. Very well. Friends first, then, not family. How's that sound?
Laura,
What's up?
I'll scout the area. Look after him.
Oh, of course. Be careful. And Jin.
I know.
What was that you said, Baldric?
The Sean capital of Omrantha has fallen. Or rather, it was annihilated. Praetor Redalis.
So it has come to pass after all.
Respectfully, you aren't much of an actor, Eminence. It appears you are not surprised at all. We heard disturbing rumors circling among the Magisters. Amalthus, whom you recently elevated to Quester? People wonder if this calamity has anything to do with that man's blade. With such extraordinary power, is it really wise to,
No matter whose power affected it, it is sure to serve the greater glory of Indal. The Architect will surely be pleased.
Eminence, do you believe it can be controlled?
If it cannot, I will let him take the blame. I have spoken. Thank you for your report, Magister Baldric. You may return to your duties.
This looks like a good spot to set up camp. Yeah, I'll start preparing the food. Oh wow, you're a star, Jin. What do you reckon you'll make? Let's see now. I should be able to get my hands on a few choice ingredients around here. If we can find some Tornan trout, deviled onions, and sour avocados, I could stew them together. You like trout strelou, right? It's absolutely divine. Won't you join us for a bite to eat, won't you, Mikhail? That wasn't what I said. I guess. Perfect. Then let's set to work and hunt for those ingredients. All three of those things should be easy to come by around here. No need to travel off the beaten path. Party formation has changed. This screen does not matter right now, although we can go directly to the character screen from here with the Y button, which is something, again, you couldn't do in the base game for some reason. That is actually a lifesaver during boss battles, believe me. We did get some accessories while we were in there, including this, which increases HP restored to self not using HP potions by 12%. We don't have any other way of restoring our HP other than recoverable HP, which can't be increased by the shell cameo. But I will equip it just in case, because Laura is one of the most effective users of this item later on. We also have the affinity chart. We can use our skill points to increase our skills. We only have enough to do honed reflexes to increase agility right now, which I guess I'll take. A lot of these are pretty inconsequential early game. The ones we're really waiting for are the level 2 ones, which you unlock by getting 2 skills on the first level. But, yep, not much more we can do there. However, with Jin, his weapon can only be modified through something called core chips. We don't have any of those right now, but it's good to keep this in mind for when you do, because it's so much easier in Torna to fall behind on core chips than it is in the base game. He also has an affinity chart of his own. This is increased through doing certain things throughout the world, so this isn't something you do through skill points. These are more automatic. And aux cores. We have Sunlight Eye 1, which increases accuracy during the day by 20%. This isn't incredibly helpful, but it's our first aux core, so, I mean, why would you expect it to be? If we go to Enhance Arts with Laura, you can see we have Hungry Snake and Path of Thorns. At the moment, I think Hungry Snake is going to be my top priority so I can get some HP potions going. We also have Rearguard Arts. These are generally less important to upgrade, but still incredibly important to upgrade. Keeping up to date on arts is something that's also difficult in this game, but so necessary. For Jin, switch arts are also really good. They always have a reaction effect. For Jin, it's Topple, which topples an enemy if they have break inflicted on them. I think I'll go for this just because of Hungry Snake on Laura. Yeah, that's all we can do with them for now. What you're looking at right now is a collection point. Check here to uncover collectible items. You'll find collection points all over Alrest, and each area will have its own selection of items to discover. Also, there are some collection points where you can use Blade's field skills to find special collectible items that you couldn't get otherwise. The collectibles that you find are sure to come in handy during your adventure, so if you come across a collection point, be sure to check it out. These are important, more so than they were in the base game of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You are going to need a lot of these to beat the game. A lot of items that you can only get through these collection points, I mean. So it's a good idea to go out of your way to check as many of them as you can when you see them. Should be just enough ingredients around the ones here to get exactly what we need to make the Stralou that Jin was talking about. Right, we've got our ingredients. Fire's nice and toasty. I think we're all set for the night. Jin, would you mind making a start on the cooking? I'll get right to it. The Blade's doing the cooking? Got a problem with that? Better Jin than me. If I were in charge, I'd probably end up losing a limb peeling the veggies. It's not all one-sided, though. Laura has her own talents, like making charms. That I could never do. Right. We make up for each other's strengths and weaknesses. Blade or driver, no one has to shoulder all the burden. Huh. Okay, I'm going to make a start on the Trout Stralou. It won't take long. You have multiple menus accessible from here. Craft is the one that we need to use to make the Stralou, although we can also see that Laura, as Jin said, is capable of making charms. These are generally... See, these are actually incredibly important during gameplay. You're going to want to make as many of these as you can, but for now, I want to check the chat option. Laura, about that battle earlier. I know, right? We were phenomenal. You're trying to do too much. Oh, what? I thought you were going to praise me. I'm only trying to draw out your full power, Jin, you know that. That's fine, and I appreciate it. What I'm saying is, please don't put yourself at risk, Laura. We've been together a long time, haven't we, Jin? Ever since I touched your core crystal as a little girl and we became bonded forever as driver and blade. Yeah. It's a bond closer than blood, I think. That's part of the reason why I want to help you too, see you grow and be there for you. That's beautiful, Laura, but you're a driver and I'm a blade. Blades protect their drivers in a fight. It's the natural order of things. Especially since we don't need to worry about being wounded as long as the core crystal stays intact. While I, on the other hand, am just a human. When a driver dies, their blades return to their cores. That's why you want me to be more careful, right? Exactly. Right. I get it. Well, it's not like I want to make you anxious in the middle of a fight. Okay, I promise not to overdo it, and if things start looking bad, I'll be sure to switch out for you. That would be great. Thanks. I'm counting on you then. You know I'd never let you down. Hey Jin, can you take care of the cooking? Sure. If you can just quit distracting me, I think I can contrive a decent trout stralou out of the stuff we gathered. Awesome. I could really do with a proper meal right about now. Shouldn't be too long, if you stop distracting me. I love that you can just keep making him not make food.
Don't spoil your appetite.
Okay,
before
trout
I'm done.
stralou.
It came together nicely.
How sad. That village, I mean.
It is.
That blade, Malos. He didn't do that, did he?
The towns raised by the Aegis were completely obliterated. I plan to inform the mercenaries of this.
How could a person do something so awful?
Anyway, you should rest now. We should be able to meet up with Hayes tomorrow.
Oh, yes. I wonder if she's found any leads on Mother. I hope so, anyway.
I'll prepare food, then rest up.
Oh, that's kind of you. Thanks.
That really hit the spot. You know, I really can't think of anything better than waking up to Jin's cooking. Scrumptious. You scarf that down quick. 1 second. Mikhail, relax. He's not gonna bite you. Don't let the whole moody thing fool you. He's genuinely concerned about you. Moody thing? Look, if there's anything you need, just tell us, alright? Nuh-uh. I'm fine, really. Okay, I hear you. Listen, I know Jin can seem a bit scary, but he's really very gentle. You'll get used to him. I just need to clean up here, then we can move out. Feltley can't be far now, can it? Well, we're meeting up with Hayes. That's right. There's still a way to go, but if we keep to the road, it won't take long. Certain places out in the wild allow you to make camp. The 3 things you can do at a campsite are resting, crafting, and chatting. Rest, use bonus EXP to level teams up. Craft, use collectibles to make items. Chat, speak with allies for advice on how to proceed. As you can see, camps are places of preparation and growth. When entering a new area, it's worth scouting out the next campsite first. Crafting is one of the actions available when camping. Did I say I don't know what I said. It expends collectibles to create pouch items, as well as valuable, unique items with particular properties. As your adventure progresses, you can obtain more recipes to expand your crafting repertoire, for example, by completing quests or raiding treasure troves. Pouch items can be set inside a driver's pouch to empower that driver's team for a fixed duration. You can always create more by crafting them at a campsite, so use them as much as you can, for instance, when preparing for a difficult battle ahead. That's a much better tutorial on pouch items than the base game, but it still doesn't emphasize just how important pouch items are. Granted, they aren't as necessary in this game because the combat is fun on its own and not nearly as repetitive, but they're still very important. Make as many pouch items as you can from the crafting menu. I'm also going to be trying to show as many of these little chat conversations as I can because there are a lot of them, and some of them are actually pretty good. But just know that I will probably end up missing some of them. For now, we do have another one. I really hope we'll be able to join up with Hayes soon. It isn't far to Feltley now. In fact, we should be there in no time as long as we stick to the path. I wonder what Hayes will think of Mikhail when she sees him. It'll be interesting, that's for sure. Don't worry, Mikhail. Hayes is one of the loveliest people I've ever met. I'll be fine. There won't always be 2 like there was the last time. Now to rest. The camping screen will be closed and you will rest until morning. Is that okay? Yeah, I think so. It sounds okay. We don't have enough bonus EXP to level up quite yet, but this is something I am going to be taking advantage of. It's not at all necessary to beat the game. I just prefer to be over-leveled when compared to being under-leveled. I'm finished. There wasn't really any leveling up to be done. I think that's gonna do it for today, though. So we beat up a bunch of monsters in the woods, we found a completely destroyed village, and then adopted an orphan from it. That's a lot to do in a first episode, believe it or not. So next time on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country, Jesus, that's a long name. We're going to be heading toward Feltley Village, where we'll meet up with Hayes. See you guys then. Also, as I always do with Xenoblade or any game that's really beautiful, I'm going to be doing these end screens where I just show off pretty things. Like anything from the world, like this wing. Oh, the setting of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torna will never get old to me. But just know I'm always going to be showing pretty things. See you guys then.